So the
Uh,
other question is, usually when we move the oversized cargo from I mean container or something like that. So there's a regulations from each region, right? From Ontario, I think there's a regulations that the company that carrier must have to get before they move the cargo. So do we need to get that one, that authorizations as well as a freight broker, or we just
so
pass it to the carrier?
So that's a fantastic question. So I'll give you an example. So there's a company out of Ontario. I mean, you choose any company, but specifically out of Ontario, there's a company called Specialized, and Specialized did a move where they took oversized generators. We're talking generators that are like over 1 million pounds, like huge generators, over width, over height, like huge. And so they actually took 2 years to plan a trip that went from just like west and north of Toronto, the corner suburbs, down to Niagara Falls. Okay, so imagine, like, and still stayed in Canada. Imagine it took them 2 years to create all of the documentations, go through the getting escort services planned, getting the power line companies, that is the hydro companies, to connect and reconnect wires at the scheduled dates during the transit, and it took them 12 nights to go from Toronto to Niagara Falls. That's how heavy these moves were, and it was inch by inch movements to final delivery. So all the authorizations through the Toronto Police and all other police services along the route, police escorts, engineered route surveys. So engineers will actually survey the routes, which bridges the things can go underneath, the generators can go underneath, and where are the bridges. So if they can't go underneath, if it's not high enough, they would have to go around. They would have to go around wherever, actually engineer a route to the final delivery. Also, the escort vehicles come with pole cars as well. So they'll have these huge poles that will measure certain heights, wiring. So anytime a wire needs to be disconnected or reconnected, if there's any overhanging or low-lying wires, that's why these hydro companies are there during the trip, to get this disconnected and reconnected as the trip moves forward. You as a broker, you're the one that brings the business to the oversized company, to someone like Specialized. They would quote this out for you. You are not well versed, neither am I, in knowing what exactly a pole car is going to cost me from Toronto to Niagara Falls. They have all the pricing and line items and quoting for all of that. So the price you get from Specialized companies is an all-in price, broken down line item by line item. And they'll even give you a contract specifically for that move. So it'll tell you who's responsible for what they're looking for waiting time if there's delays, what happens if the load gets canceled. So typically in these scenarios, if a load does get canceled, you actually owe that Specialized company a percentage of whatever they quoted you. So if they quoted you 100,000 for the job, you would owe a percentage, and you would pass that cost down to your shipper or manufacturer or whoever gave you that oversized or overdimensional load. But you as a broker do not need to log into any government portals and start applying for permits or any of that stuff. These Specialized companies, an example of a Specialized company out of Alberta is Logistics. These Specialized companies have people designated for permits, have people designated for escorts and police service scheduling, and power line hydro company scheduling, and engineered route survey scheduling, all that stuff. They have dedicated people in their offices to get the correct quote for you. So it's very simple for a broker in these scenarios. You are just there to experience it. You bring the business, you take a cut of the business, you don't do anything yourself. You can ask the trucking company to go and join them on a 12-day journey. That's fine if that's something you'd like to do and see the physical operation, how it unfolds. You can do it at your own expense, right? Pay for hotels and all that kind of stuff. But it's a fascinating journey. It's amazing. Over dimensional, oversized stuff is fascinating.